one story from this long walk. As Deepak said, I walked through Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran, and Azerbaijan, Georgia. And one day, I said to my friend, I was walking with another friend, E.P. Menon, and I said to him, Menon, are we achieving anything? All this without money, sometimes we don't get food, sometimes we are in the snow, so cold, desert of Iran. So I was feeling a bit despondent. And we used to give leaflets about nuclear disarmament to people, and we would get locally translated. And so I gave this leaflet, which explained walking from India for peace, to two young women who were standing in front of a tea factory. And when they read it, they said, just come back, wait a minute, come back. Did you really walk from India to Georgia? Yes, we did. Come and tell us your story. This is our lunch break. Would you like a cup of tea? And tell us your story. So I said, oh, of course, any time is tea time, especially when you have no money. So we went in, and she made a pot of tea, and she brought some bread, and she brought some cheese. And then as we were drinking tea, suddenly she had a brainwave. She went out of the room and came back with 4 packets of tea. And she said, these packets of tea are not for you. For whom are they? They are for the 4 nuclear leaders of the world. Please deliver 1 packet to our premier in Moscow, the 2nd packet to the President of France, the 3rd packet to the Prime Minister of England, and 4th to the President of the United States of America. And please be my messenger, my ambassador, my messenger, and give them a message from me. I said, what is your message? My message to them is that if ever you get the mad thought of pressing the nuclear button, please stop for a moment and have a fresh cup of tea from these packets. My despondency disappeared. And I got so inspired, I said to my friend, E.P. Menon, I said, look, whatever happens now, snowstorm or wind or forest or no food or whatever happens, we have to deliver these packets of peace tea to these 4 nuclear capitals. So that was the peace. This is what you mentioned, meeting these leaders. So we did this walk from the grave of Mahatma Gandhi to the grave of John F. Kennedy, from grave to grave with the message of peace, that if you believe in the weapons, the gun, a gun not only kills somebody you don't like a bad person, but a gun also kills a Gandhi. A gun also kills a Kennedy, and later even a Martin Luther King. And so we have to believe in peace. That was the 8,000-mile journey in 2.5 years, without any technology and without any money. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. You have heard previous session, the power of technology, which is undeniable. But I was recently in Japan. I've just come from Tokyo to here. With technology, I flew. But in Japan, they are measuring their time like we measure our history in terms of BC, before Christ, or AD, after Christ. They are now measuring their time before 311, which is March last year, 311, when they had tsunami of Fukushima, the nuclear power station accident. So they are measuring their time pre-311 and post-311. And pre-311, they believed that power of technology, power of science, power of industry is so strong that we can conquer nature. We can subjugate nature, and we can do what we like. Japan, I mean, in America you have lots of technology, but if you go to Japan, it's quite a different story. Even your toilet seats are warmed with electric power. And so now, after 311, they are saying that the power of nature is greater than the power of technology. And therefore, we humans need to acknowledge that, respect that power of nature. The science, particularly Francis Bacon, who said that the mission of humanity and science and technology is to steal the secrets of nature and overpower nature. You have heard about the power of technology. I want you to remember, as a counterbalance, remember the power of nature. And Fukushima, which was giving lots of power and energy, is now producing radiation, and 30-mile radius is evacuated, and all the people living in 30 miles radius of that power station cannot go back. And that is after 1 year. And so I said to them that, look, you have the sun on the Japanese flag and not a nuclear power station. And the sun produces energy so vast amount that if you use your ingenuity and use your technology, why not, if you use with proper purpose, and harvest the energy of the sun. You don't have to go mining uranium to Australia, to Brazil, to Canada, to land of the indigenous people where the uranium is buried. Sun comes to your doorstep every day. So much power, and you are ignoring it. And then the power of water. Japan is surrounded by water. And tsunami, you have seen it. How much power tsunami and the power of water. So you are forgetting the power of sun, you are forgetting the power of water, which is free of charge every day at your doorstep. No money needed. And the power of wind. And the power of human hands. Taj Mahal was not built by any other energy than the energy of human hands. The Empire State Building was mostly built in those days by the power of human hands. The pyramids were built by the power of human hands. The big, beautiful cities of Europe, if you go to Vienna, you go to Barcelona, you go to Prague, you go to Budapest, these beautiful, lovely cities, they were built by real builders, real architects. We are forgetting that our hands have energy, greater in quantity terms, greater than all the nuclear power stations of the world put together. but we are ignoring it. We are using, mostly in our industrialized, modern, very much progress society, we are using our hands to do what? Twitter. That's the use of our hands. Or mobile phones. You heard 3 speeches before me. They are fine. I'm not against technology. I use technology to fly here. But priorities have to be right. So I say power of nature, power of human hands, power of human imagination, power of human ingenuity. Put those first, and then put technology as a means. Now, the title of my talk is Soil, Soul, and Society. And soil I put first. I mean, I put these 3 words together because we are now moving out of 20th century, which was a century of economic growth, GDP, free market, globalization. But that time has peaked. Now, most advanced countries, like European countries, Italy, Spain, Portugal, Greece, Britain, Ireland, all facing severe economic problems, even the United States. And so the economic growth is now being questioned. So I would say that we are hopefully in the beginning of a new era. The era of economic growth is coming to some kind of end. And now we are entering into the era of growth in well-being. And that was a wonderful session that we had today. But I would like to expand the idea and the definition of well-being to personal well-being, from personal well-being to well-being of whole human community, but even greater than the well-being of the whole planet. We cannot have healthy people and healthy individuals on a sick planet. Please remember. And if we are polluting our air and creating global warming and climate change, if we are polluting our rivers with chemicals and fertilizers, and we are polluting our soil with chemicals and fertilizers and pesticide and herbicide, and we are polluting and overfishing our oceans and cutting down our rainforests, all that devastating, if planet is not in good heart, if our earth is not in well-being, human society cannot be on well-being. We are an integral part of our earth community. We are members of the earth community. We are only one species out of 8.7 million species on this earth. And we have to take care of all of them. That is biodiversity. That is ecology. That is my slogan for soil. Soil, soul, and society. Soil comes first. If we can say that nature is something that we are integral part of, and nature is alive, nature is intelligent, nature is our mentor. My mother, which Deepak mentioned, my mother, she was a wise woman, and she used to tell me, the trees, nature is the greatest teacher, and the trees are a great teacher. And I would say to mother, yes, how great? And she would say, even greater than the Buddha. And I would say, mother, that can't be true. Buddha was the greatest teacher of our country. How can you say that there is anything greater than the Buddha? And my mother would say, dear boy, where did the Buddha get his enlightenment? While sitting under a tree. While sitting under a tree. When he saw this interdependence, interrelatedness, codependent arising, the clouds nurturing the tree, the sun giving photosynthetic. She did not use the word photosynthetic, but that is what she meant. And the soil giving nourishment to these roots, and the birds sitting on the branches, and people eating the fruit. What interconnected world. And that is what Buddha preached. Interrelationship, interconnectedness. We are all related. That was Buddha's teaching, and he learned it from the tree. And he was enlightened. And nowadays, mothers would say, we don't get enlightened because we don't sit under a tree. We sit under these lights where I can't see you. I'm totally unenlightened. So, nature is our teacher. Soil is precious. And my friend Vandana will speak to you more about soil. But soil for me is first. And then I put soul, which is the quality of consciousness, which is, you can say, I could have put consciousness in the second word, but I put soul, which is similar to consciousness. And we need to take care of ourselves. That's where our well-being, which in the previous session we talked about, that each and every human being needs to be taking care of themselves. And not only our body, we put so much time, we feed our body morning, afternoon, evening, 3 meals, 4 meals, tea time, biscuits, cookies, bathing, so much soap, so much shampoo, so many clothes. And then we ask, if Deepak asks you, meditate for 20 minutes, you say, I haven't got time. You have so much time for body, but no time for your mind, no time for your soul, no time for your spirit. Take care of your soul. That is as important as taking care of the soil, because the soil and soul are connected. Soul is the quality, soulful. Soil has soul, trees have soul, earth has soul. That soulfulness, you have soul, I have soul. And if we can take care of the soul, we recognize who we are. That potential that we talked about this morning and yesterday, the potential. Ananda Kumaraswamy used to say that an artist is not a special kind of person, but every person is a special kind of artist. We are all artists. But we won't be artists if we just use Twitters and mobile phones. We have to do something more than that. Use your Twitter and mobile phone. I'm not against it. Please do not misunderstand me. But do not put too much energy and too much effort and too much time on this one basket of technology. There is much more to life than these fast technologies. And so I would say, take care of the soul. You are an artist. You are a potential Gandhi. You are a potential Martin Luther King. You are a potential Mother Teresa. We all have the same quality of soul and consciousness, but we are not paying attention. We are not paying attention to our soul. And therefore, soul I put in the middle. And then society. Dear wonderful speaker, previously lady speaker, said 6 billion telephones in the world. Yes, 6 billion people may have telephones, but do the 6 billion people have food? How can we live? How can we sleep comfortably in our bed if our fellow human beings, our farmers, our workers, our peasants, our people in the street, children in the street of Brazil, of Rio de Janeiro, of Mumbai, of Calcutta, of many, many big cities, how can we sleep in peace? And therefore, society, human community, we are all human beings. First, before we are Americans, before we are Indians. When I walked and came to Pakistan, and I said to my friend, if we come here as Indians, we meet Pakistanis. If we come here as Hindus, we meet Muslims. But if we come here as human beings, we meet human beings. So that is our primary identity. We are members of the earth community and human community, and then we are members of American community, Indian community, Japanese community, or Californian community, or San Diego community, or your family community. All those are fine, but we have to see the big picture. And that big picture is that we are one humanity. And therefore we have to make sure that before we have all these wonderful high living standards for few, and Occupy movement, and last issue of Resurgence, I did a cover story which Bandana wrote the essay on Occupy movement, this 1% versus 99%. That is not something we can ignore. And so society is important. These are the three words for the age of well-being. Not the age of economic growth, but age of well-being. Every age has three words to encapsulate its spirit of time. The French Revolution had égalité, liberté, fraternité. The New Age had mind, body, spirit. The American Constitution had life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. But all those are very human-centered. They miss and lack the spiritual dimension, the ecological dimension. Equality, human liberty, human freedom, human mind, human body, human spirit. That is fine. That is part of the soul, human concern. So we have to move from this very anthropocentric, very human-centered worldview to a more inclusive, earth-centered, life-centered worldview where soil, we are children of the soil. And dirt is not dirty. We need to learn to touch the earth and put our hands in the soil and then take time to meditate and connect with the universe in your meditation, and then go out and serve your fellow human beings. If we can do these three things, then our conference, our gatherings, our foundations, our work, our life will be full of joy. Thank you very much.